In the past 2 weeks, we've learnt a great deal about moral equivalence, cowardice and depravity from the quisling left, who looked at the barbaric savagery unleashed on Israeli civilians and then demanded restraint from the only Jewish state in the world, restraint from the worst attack after the worst attack against the Jewish people since the Holocaust. We keep hearing that Israel's response must be proportionate. Indeed, the far-left Monthly went on to accuse Israel of war crimes for defending itself. But what is a proportionate response? What would satisfy the suicidally stupid left? On Friday night on the Rita Panahi show, I asked one of the finest thinkers of our generation, Douglas Murray, whether Israel's counter-offensive should be proportionate. This was his response.
Yeah, what is proportionate in a conflict? Proportionate in this conflict would mean that the response to the massacre of more than 1,000 Israelis in cold blood by Hamas a couple of weeks ago should be responded to by Israel by sending Israeli forces to rape exactly the same number of women as Hamas raped and to decapitate exactly the same number of babies as Hamas decapitated, and to steal hundreds of Palestinians and hold them in dungeons and torture them as Hamas did. I mean, it's obscene to even think in these terms, and yet that's what proportionality would mean in this conflict. When people say proportionate, that the Israeli response must be proportionate, there are several things they're doing. One is that they are showing that they are utter ignoramuses because they know nothing about Israel's war since 1948, when its neighbors have repeatedly attempted to annihilate it. And they don't seem to realize that, as has very often been said, not least, I think, by Golda Meir. You know, if Hamas laid down its arms, if the Palestinian extremists, jihadists laid down their arms, there'd be peace. Whereas if Israel laid down its arms, there'd be no Jewish state.
The only sane response is the complete and utter annihilation of Hamas and any like-minded Islamist extremists who want to destroy Israel, who do not believe in its right to exist. The dangerous idiocy of the Greens, the Squad, the leftist media and activists is laid bare when they demand a proportional response. These people should not be taken seriously. They should be mocked, not indulged. These are the same clowns who scream Nazi at anybody who, I don't know, accidentally misgenders someone, but they not only condemn Israel, but carry water for a regime that would kill them. That's not hyperbole. That's the sad truth about attitudes to alternative lifestyles in places like Gaza. The woke anti-Israel activists in the West are fools, useful idiots for extremists, and mockery is all they deserve. And that's all they got from our friend comic Alex Stein, who sought to highlight the pure insanity of members of the LGBTQIAA+ community standing for Palestine with this routine, which he unveiled at a council meeting in Plano, Texas.
We're an organization representing the 2SL LGBTQIA+ community that stands with the persecuted Muslims who just want to jihad in peace, all right? And just because they've thrown a few of my allies off of roofs in the past, that doesn't make them bad people. We must look past that because, you know, this is 2024. Palestine is changing, and just because gay people have had to run to Israel for protection in the past doesn't mean anything. We love that their women have very little rights. That's why they have such few traffic accidents. So we agree on more than you think.
He also wrote a song for the occasion, but I can't play it on a family-friendly program like this. I asked Alex earlier this week about this bizarre phenomenon of LGBTQIA activists standing with Palestine.
There's nothing more hypocritical in this entire world than seeing the LGBTQ community coming out in support of Hamas, basically. I mean, you would think that this was a joke written by Saturday Night Live, but this is a real thing. And if they were to go to Palestine, they would literally be thrown off a roof. I mean, that's not hyperbole. That literally happened. So it's just kind of shocking, I guess you would say, that people have such strongholds in their identity politics that they can't even, you know, see the nuance of supporting an organization that literally wants to kill people because of their sexual orientation.
I mean, what can you say about the suicidal stupidity of those who stand with a regime that wants to kill them? Let's have a look at what happened when someone brought a pride flag to a Palestinian rally in London. It got stomped on. That's what happened. What a shock. The truth is that the only place that members of the LGBTQIA+ community are safe and protected in the Middle East is in Israel. Indeed, a number of Middle Eastern countries, including Hamas's #1 backers, Iran, have the death penalty for homosexual acts. And so I'll leave the final word for the dim-witted, useful idiots of the far left to comic Daniel Ryan Spalding, who has this pertinent message: if you want to free Palestine, then free it from Hamas.
I think it's a little ironic that the people who seem to be defending Hamas online are also the ones they'd be most likely to kill. Oh, no, I'm sure the Islamic terrorists would love you, queer intellectual feminist. We're freedom fighters. They're fighting for their land, and I'm fighting for my right to purple hair. What the f***? I'm sorry, if your reaction to people being slaughtered, beheaded, raped, and burned alive isn't complete and utter disgust and horror, if your reaction is, yeah, but I mean, why? See it from their perspective. You need to get your head checked, okay? I'm sure Jeffrey Dahmer had a rough childhood. That doesn't mean I empathize with him. If you want to free Palestine from Hamas.